Uh, Gorbea, let's see. It's a long story. It started a long time ago. Actually, I started as a dancer, believe it or not, in the clubs. And from dancing, I went into programming music, and then from programming music, I went into clubs. Then after the clubs, I went into producing, and yeah, that's
Can,
how it all started.
can we at least
I
disclose some
went to like
dates?
some of the major.
Can we have an idea of the era and time, please? Because you've been there in some of the most important times of disco and house music, the birth of it all. Like, please, we know, but teach them, teach them, teach them. Don't hold up, don't hold back.
Well, actually, the first time I ever stepped into a club was a club called the Ice Palace that was on 33rd Street and the West Side Highway. It was actually in a in ice skating ring,
That's in New
and
York.
they
That
had
was in New York.
that's in New York, Manhattan. That was the first time I ever stepped into a club, and the sound and the dance floor was actually a huge stage in the middle of the ice rink, and everybody would be dancing on the stage in the middle of the ice rink, and the sound system was just incredible. And that sort of like drew me into like, wow, it's like a whole new world for me. And from there, I just started go venturing out to other clubs, other clubs like Nicky Ciano's Gallery, of course, Larry Levan, the Paradise Garage, which I was a garage head, I guess you would say, because I was constantly there like every weekend. Then I would go to David Mancuso's loft, and then from the loft I would go to the garage, and it would go back and forth. I go to both clubs in one night. But
Oh man.
Paradise Garage was like my Saturday and Sunday home. You know, you would get there. I used to get there at about 11 o'clock when the guys were cleaning up and Larry was tuning the system and everything. So I was like the first one there. I didn't want to miss like one song. So,
Wow.
and you would stay until about 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just that intense, you know.
And tell us a
David
little bit about
Mancuso's,
before we go to David Mancuso, please let's. I think it's very important to get really in the thick of it when it comes to Larry Levan and really explain maybe a little bit better why these names represent so much for the culture, for the music. As you said yourself, you wouldn't want to miss a single song that he would actually play. Why? So I want to talk. I want to understand why is he? Why was he so important? Why are those names so important? Why was the sound so important? The music, etc. Can you please just visually take us into this whole experience?
well, going to the garage, let's just say, for example, once you walk in, you walk up to a ramp, and it was almost like a runway, an airplane runway, where the lights would just zoom up into the cashier. So you'd walk up this runway, and as you're walking up the runway, you would hear the sound system come through the walls. Once you got up to the top, you paid your money to get in. You would go into the bathrooms. They had like little changing rooms where you would change into comfortable clothes to dance in. You would go in, change your clothes, then you go into the main room. I myself have never, ever experienced any kind of sound system as the Paradise Garage. Even today, I've been
Wow.
to some major clubs. Sound systems are superb, but there was just something about the sound system at the Paradise Garage. As soon as you got onto the dance floor, the bass was so intense that your clothes would actually shake while you was on the dance
Crazy.
floor, and
Crazy.
you would feel the energy through your bones. And I don't know. I guess I just fell in love with that feeling, and so did everybody else that went to the Paradise Garage. You know, so that was to me that was like the climax of party, my party going. Okay, not to mention the people that went there. You had like some of the best dancers that went to the Paradise Garage as well. And you actually went there and you just released. You let go and you forget about your problems. You forget about everything, and you just got lost into the music. And
In
I was
comparison, go ahead. Go sorry.
no, I was just like I said. I'm sure I felt that way, and I'm sure many, many, many other people felt the same way. You
I
know?
believe there's a beautiful documentary. I don't know if it's. I can't find it on YouTube. Maestro, which
Yeah,
was a
Maestro.
dope documentary. I don't know why they took it off, or why it's
Right,
not
right,
available
right,
even on Netflix because it should be.
right,
But
right.
yo, uh, so so what about now the Studio 54? Was any of these crowds mixing or completely different crowd, completely different kind of sound? Or what was that about?
Well,
That era?
actually, when the garage closed, a lot of people started going to other clubs and exploring other, situations. Studio 54 was one of them. Larry used to play. I guess he played a couple of times at Studio 54, and of course, the people from the garage, his following would go. It was good. Uh, Sound system was good, but like I said, can't take it from Paradise Garage. That was like the ultimate right there. And the
Hmm.
party was good. The energy of the people, would be there, and the party went on. Studio 54 had a fantastic light show. That I have to give to them because it was intense. Yeah, it was a really good light show.
Wow, man.
But the energy just wasn't there as King Street. You know, totally different setting.
Interesting. And now, so now we go to the loft. Dave Mancuso, what's up?
Yes.
Like, take us there. Like, let's visually project ourselves.
Well, the loft, let's just say it was like a big house party. I'm talking about somebody's house, okay? Uh,
Wow.
the sound system in there was intense just as well. Uh, Back then in the day when you were younger, of course, you took a little enhancement, you know, uh,
I guess that
took
was mandatory.
a toke of a joint, or
A little
I
something,
really
something.
don't want to. I don't want to put it out there, but let's just say that it was
There was
enhanced
a
by
lot of fun.
chemicals. Yeah, yeah. I have to say I was victim to that as well. You know,
Well, I
I
guess we
ain't
all have to
ashamed of it.
learn.
Yeah, I ain't ashamed of it. Oh, and
So
the
what was?
sound. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
was
The
gonna
the
say.
music. Yeah, the music with David Mancuso was so unique. He wasn't a mixer. He never mixed his music. He would play one record after another,
Mhm.
and in between each record, after people danced to it, they would stop and they would clap and they applaud because his selection was just over the top. He really played some stuff that you would just look up and you would say, "Holy shit, what is this?" And it was too much. And the people clapping and dancing, and he had food that was being served. You can eat, you can chill out in the corner on the pillows. You can go to the first
Damn.
floor, the second floor. It was like one huge house party. The way he had each week that you would go, David Mancuso would situate the speakers differently every week.
Wow.
At one time, he would put everything up against one wall, and then another time, he would come and put four corners. He just, the way he said it acoustically, it just sounded amazing. It was just amazing. Yeah. And that was another experience that, you'll never forget. You'll never forget. Nobody, they recaptured that feeling. It's, uh, it's a shame, but I was actually one that was able to appreciate it. And so many others just as well. But I was fortunate enough to be there and experience it.
And what about the sound system? Like who was manufacturing the sound system? Like what like I mean, we're getting a little bit technical for some people who are not necessarily like into this kind of conversations. That's a bit geeky, maybe, but it's important because the, I just want to emphasize on the fact that for some of the viewers of the show who are not necessarily house heads or don't necessarily understand the culture or the sound or even the overall spirituality around it, and a lot of you are now starting to get used to it and to understand. But now we're having a privy access to some very precious information from somebody who was there and and,
Right,
and, and,
right.
ex- and witnessed it live and direct. So these are the questions you want to ask. And so since I know you were so well versed into really studying the whole technique aspect of it as well, besides just the spiritual experience you had, what about the sound system was so unique, and um, who was actually responsible for these sound system at the Paradise Garage or the Loft, for example?
Well, the Paradise Garage, of course, it was Richard Long. I was fortunate enough to meet Richard Long actually at his studio where he built the cabinets. Because back in the day, I used to work for a record pool called IDRC. So then, what I would do is I went down, actually met Larry at Richard Long's studio, and I actually got to see the cabinets that he was putting together. I actually saw the brochures and everything. As far as the loft is concerned, I don't know who manufactured, but I know it was Clipshaw. Okay, the sound system was just, yeah, just as intense. It wasn't Paradise Garage uh, power, but the clarity that David Mancuso had at the loft, everything was just crystal clear, crystal clear. Let's just say, for example, I'm going to jump a few years ahead. I did a boat ride once, and I was doing these boat rides down at South Street Seaport because I worked for a boat company. We had invited David Mancuso down because he was going to be the featured DJ, but he wanted to bring in his sound, his turntables. He wanted everything situated. Let's just
Yeah.
say that when he came and we did a dry run, uh, it kind of tripped me out because he came with like 5 glasses filled with water, and he situated those glasses on the dance floor so that there was an even balance in the water in the glasses. And that's how he knew what the sound would uh, be translated into. And when I saw
Wow.
that, I was like, this guy is incredible. He's incredible. And then, of course, he had these special needles. You couldn't ask him too much because he was like, I
Very.
want to say a mad scientist, but he knew his craft. That I have to give him. He knew his craft. Yeah.
So,
Let's see
all
if
right.
this is working.
It's got to be working, Papa. So hold on now. So now, if we're moving all the way down to Shelter, Club Shelter, Timmy Ridgesford, Sting International, Freddie Sanam, like that sound as well. Also, was supposed to be super, 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 super dope as well.
Right, right. Actually, I rarely went to the shelter. I did go on occasions, but the party that I always went to was Body and Soul. I was there religiously on Sundays. Uh, I was fortunate enough to be friends with Ariel, Ariel the Light Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go with Ariel, and I used to sit in the booth every Sunday, and I just used to watch the guys at work. That was just, I don't know how to explain it. The guys, the three of them together, the chemistry was just incredible. The crowd was intense. The sound system was intense just as well.
So the three of them would be Timmy Ridgeford, Ariel, and then Sting.
No, it was Joe Cosell, Danny Krivit, and Francois K. That was Body
All
and Soul.
right. Now
That
we're
was
talking
body
body
and
and
soul.
soul, right? Yes,
Yeah,
sir. All right.
that was my party. That was my party. Uh, like I said, the sound, that was, I want to say that was the closest that I've been to a club that sound like Paradise Garage.